Rule number 5, ask golden questions. There's a couple sayings I love. One is he or she who asks the best questions wins. And also in sales, whoever asks the questions controls the conversation. I like to adopt those when doing interviews in a format within a niche-based Facebook group. Now, the reason why this is so important and why I'm going to encourage you to ask golden questions, not just questions, is because golden questions are going to lead to golden moments and golden answers and golden opportunities. It's really easy when you're serving your butt off in your niche-based Facebook group to rely on scripted questions. I'm going to argue that is always a mistake. If you have scripted questions, you're relying on ego and planning and strategy, and not relying on your inner guidance. You're not relying on spirit or source or God to guide you, and you're not actually present. It's my opinion. I've seen this in the last 14 months. The more I rely on that guidance, the more I let people's story impact me emotionally as I'm listening and allow it to transform me, I'm prompted with the questions to ask. And it leads to beautiful moments. And I often hear, that is a really great question. I've never heard that or never thought of that before. That's an earmark that you're asking golden questions. If you're hearing regularly, wow, that's a great question, I never thought of that. My mother used to demonstrate this. I would watch her do it. My mother was very creative and sometimes a little coy. She never wanted to be the center of attention. And so she would arm herself with these internal, almost like work up into a delicious, valiant effort to draw out of the person why. She wants to know why and how they did what they did, or why and how they thought what they thought. And even though she was short in stature, she was mighty in determination. My mom was like maybe 5'3", 5'4". And she was very kind and soft, but she knew how to ask questions that really helped the other person take center stage, and then that golden light would shine on them. Because when you ask someone a golden question, I believe what you do, and you're internally guided to do that because you've allowed yourself to be affected by their story and not relied on some script. What happens is when you ask them that golden question, the one that comes to you intuitively and you release it by faith, and it can feel scary at the beginning, is you allow them to take a bigger stage with a bigger spotlight than they've ever had in their life. Because you open the door for them to walk into a new space where they can take more ownership of their story, more ownership of their own journey, their own transformational experience, and they can also realize more of their own unique brilliance. People, I would argue, are really struggling sometimes to see, well, what is unique about me? What is great about me? We all are told that we should all think that we're phenomenal and we're this and we're that. But internally, a lot of us struggle with wanting to feel like we really are and we can make a difference. And one of the best ways you can serve others is to ask those intuitively led golden questions where you throw out the script, you let their story and their journey and their words affect you emotionally at your core. The more I practice this, the more I see it just works like a hot jet. And it shocks me. It absolutely shocks me. And to see them come alive with their eyes light up. If their eyes are lighting up, it means you've asked a golden question. And you've given them a massive gift. You've helped them to see themselves. My mother would do this, and it doesn't take very long to ask those questions. And then she would pull back into her little corner because she didn't want to be center stage. And she would do it this oftentimes at the dinner table or afterwards over coffee and tea and dessert. She wanted to be quiet, but she would throw these things in there that she would do it masterfully. And so rule number 5 is ask golden questions, because asking golden questions will lead to new golden moments that I believe cannot be experienced without letting go of the script, letting go of ego, letting go of planning and all this stuff, and entering in and letting the other person's heart impact your heart, impact the entire experience.